let's cut through the reality. Let's cut through the myths of all the hyped up marketing and look at the realities of off-grid solar lifestyle. This is survival, not a camping trip. When the grid collapses, like it eventually will you be ready? That's the question I think a lot of people are asking themselves right now. And is solar worth the hype? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not all it's cracked up to be, especially when you try to have a small system. I've seen some comments from people on other channels that, they really want to have a small system. They really respect having a small system. Our very first solar little teeny system was one that I got at Mountain Equipment Co-op. It was for canoe trips, and it was just to charge our cell phones so we could take photographs and listen to our Spotify while we're in the middle of nowhere. And then our next little system was just 1,000 watts and a fold out unit for charging, like a portable folding charging unit. And that 1,000 watts was great for charging our laptops and our cell phone. Solar power, solar power is often regarded as the savior of the off-grid lifestyle. But is it really? Is it really reliable when you're in the middle of nowhere, when every watt counts? Will you be ready? Welcome back to our channel. We have had rain for 4 days straight, and I think we should talk about solar panels, because you think you know everything about solar panels until you actually get yourself some solar panels and a off-grid system. And once you get them, there's a bit of a learning curve, especially when it comes to appliances. If you think you can use certain items when you're off-grid, especially a coffee maker. And we love coffee. And I can tell you right now that a coffee maker, a regular coffee maker, doesn't matter which one you have, the coffee maker that you have at home would drain a small system. It would drain your batteries, especially if you're making multiple pots of coffee, like we like to do sometimes. And when you're busy in the outdoors, you like to have your coffee. Toasters and microwaves and coffee makers, they don't do very well on a solar panel system. And there was a YouTube channel, actually it was an interview that was done. There was a documentary. I can't remember what the documentary was, but there was a nice elderly couple. They retired off grid. It was cheaper for them to go solar and get a battery system rather than bringing electrical in. And my best friend's husband works for our Ontario Hydro, and I know for a fact that bringing hydro in can cost $10,000 a pole. So you don't even want to know the number of dollars it would cost for us to try and bring hydro in here. So the cost of solar is definitely cheaper. It's definitely a free solution after you've invested some money into your infrastructure. So I did a lot of research and decided to go with Cabin Depot, which is based in New Brunswick. And that's where this first set of 300, I think it's 300 or 330 watts per panel. So we have 990 watts, between 990 watts of solar. And when we started, we got the EcoFlow Delta Pro system because I wanted something simple and a nice plug and play. I didn't want to have to learn how to do all the wiring and connecting that some people do. And I mean, I would love to have those skills, but I can safely say that I have spliced cables together, really thick cables, and that wasn't too difficult just for our distance. But they come with some really cool plugs here that are, I think they're called MC4s. Anyhow, the story about the elderly couple that retired off grid was a great story, and they had, from what they said, a 1.8 kilowatt system, which isn't very much because I don't know how they managed to do a well pump. She had a washer and a dryer. She had an Instapot that she liked to use. I think they had, I'm pretty sure they had propane with a regular gas stove, and they did have a wood stove for heat. Now, of course, the cabin was small that was built, and the cabin that we hauled up for our temporary living arrangements while we decided what we want to build is only 550 square feet approximately. It's a 45-foot 12 wide. And we actually just got a wood burning stove that we need to figure out how to get it through the window and hooked up for this coming winter. But the last 4 days I've had to run the generator. Now, having said that, I didn't run the generator every single day. I ran the generator yesterday for maybe, I want to say 6 hours, so I could actually charge the batteries up. Worst case scenario, if we had to run the generator 24/7 for a week straight, it would cost us $1,646, which is just insane. And we just got a second generator, and I've actually seen some off-grid folks have anywhere from 2 to 6 or 7 generators, and I completely understand why. When you have a large piece of property, sometimes with buildings in different places, building plans in different places, you want to have a generator that you can take with you. My husband takes our first generator into the backwoods when he's building his deer stand and other things that he's working on. So we needed a new generator that was quieter, bigger, charged faster, had better wattage, because we do get some surges that I've noticed from the cabin. We also have propane hooked up. We don't go through a lot of propane because we haven't been running the furnace, and subsequently the furnace died. But propane is definitely something everyone off grid has. Back to the solar panels. We actually expanded our battery system because the EcoFlow Delta Pro has a what's called a dual voltage, and that allows you to double up. So we can expand our system, I believe, up to 21 kilowatts. Yeah, so 21,000 watts. Right now we have the system at approximately 14,000 watts or 14 kilowatts. So you can see that 14 kilowatts for just our little cabin and minimal power usage which is laptops, cell phones, Starlink. By the way, Starlink, fabulous. We are literally in the middle of nowhere, and the concession road that takes us up to our off beaten track to get into the property, the concession has no cell signal. We are fortunate to have cell signal here, but we also have Starlink. So the Starlink is amazing. We love it. If we ever did a road trip, you can convert your Starlink and take it with you, and there's a different fee for that. I think it's like a $40 extra on top of it. And the Starlink is definitely worth it. Back before we were even bringing the cabin up here, because we hadn't decided yet. We were going to sell it and just build. So when we started, we actually tented. And if you are a stranger to camping or backcountry camping, and you have dreams of living off-grid, before you go off-grid, I would highly recommend you go on a backcountry canoe trip in the middle of nowhere for 7 days. Now, it doesn't have to be canoeing. We just love canoeing. But I would recommend going on a little backpacking trip or somewhere in the backcountry. Our province in Canada and many other provinces have beautiful provincial parks with a lot of backcountry options available. In Ontario and Quebec, for example. In Ontario, there's Algonquin and Killarney. You can go further north. We are in the vicinity north of Temagami, which is why we chose this area, because we love the Temagami wilderness, backcountry area, and everything north of us. So do yourself a favor, go see if you can camp or live out of a tent and cook your food off of a little stove and tolerate some bugs and tolerate bad weather, because you have to love being out here all the time. And we love it. Like when you're quiet, like it's so quiet, and at night the stars are unbelievable. The city pollution lights aren't here. There's so many things. I could do an entire video. I really wanted to talk about solar panels, but I think I might want to talk about the truth about starting off grid, building an outhouse, where are you going to go to the bathroom, where are you going to put your garbage. Now there is dumps around here. What are you going to burn? What are you going to recycle? Where are you going to put your recycling? Nobody comes and snow plows your roads for you. There's a lot more snow to plow. Do you have the toys to do that? Do you have the tools? One of the first things my husband said to me was he wanted a tractor, and I'm like, we don't need a tractor. And he never lets me forget. But I warmed up to the idea because, it's a lot all at once when you pull the plug and say, okay, this is what we're doing. There you go. So I got this kit off of Amazon so I could splice up some more cables. And they're not easy because I'm separating the EcoFlow. We do have a dual voltage, but I just realized, which kind of pisses me off, to be honest. You can actually hear the solar cranked up in the background. And this one was down to 0, and the the dual voltage doesn't charge across both. I don't know why I didn't know this. Maybe I missed some of the fine print, but you need two separate solar inputs. So right now this one is just charging off our little canoe backcountry portable one, and I just have that charging in there because this is at 0 and the other ones are almost full. And I have this kit that I got off Amazon to, oh shit, oh my god, I did it wrong. That's what happens when I'm trying to talk at the same time, because again, nobody teaches you how to do this. Shit. Oh shit, I might need tweezers to get that out. But the good thing is this kit came with extra. So this is so, because I need to order more solar panels, and I'm going to talk about some solar issues. But this kit from Amazon was pretty cool. I'm still not sure exactly what these are for, or the string, but it came with these and a bunch of these, so you could splice your own. And I've already done one, and I need to do the red one, which I just screwed up. So you put one of these on the wire. But honestly, it took me, I could cut this, but pulling it off, it took like all my strength. It's just, forearm strength really isn't something women have a lot of. So we just clamp that on. So that's on there tight. And I need, so what I forgot to do was put this part on here first. And then this goes in there, and then you just twist it on. Easy peasy, actually. It's amazing. It's a really good, these are called, I believe, MC4 connectors. Oh, maybe this, maybe that's to twist. I think that's what that's for. Well, that makes sense. There you go. Tight. And I can do that with this one too. That's brilliant. It's like a little, there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna connect these to the other two solar panels that I got also off Amazon, because I usually order from Cabin Depot, but because we're in the middle of nowhere and Cabin Depot's in New Brunswick, these solar panels, there's big solar panels I got off of Amazon. And so Operation Second Power Station, because this one's 0. I like the gardening, but taking down the trees, going back to taking down the trees is actually the easy part. It's the removing of all, like, it's the delimbing of the trees, cutting the tree up, hauling the tree somewhere, having the space for it. We're like, I feel like we're a couple of beavers, actually. Anyways, that's all I want to say for now, and I'm gonna probably, I don't know. it was a UFO, and it's it's so bright up here. It wasn't a UFO. It was the space station. So we'll come outside and just there's the space station flying by, and we're like, what the hell is that? We don't even need an app to see it or try to. It just kind of happens because it's so bright and it's so dark at night that we see the space station. It's insane.